Hello everyone, my name is Nari, and this video is going to be slightly different than usual. I'd like to just talk a bit about visuals and their importance to me and how I incorporate them, and essentially how they help me understand different things in the world and especially in music. So if you've seen a few of my videos, you probably have noticed the use of a lot of graphics, a lot of visuals, a lot of visual effects, and things like that. And that's because I really enjoy using them to help me understand these different concepts, and that's really how I think about a lot of music-related ideas as well when they're being formed in my head, either for composition or through analysis. So for example, you'll see me use a lot of graphics to use as visual aids for melodic figures, contour in musical lines, perhaps color coding chords and harmony, and things like that. But also, it doesn't always even have to be a visual aid. It could be just simply a metaphor or some sort of abstract connection between two different things. When I started to make videos, I did a lot of this using ordinary household objects, where I would make a stop motion type short segment and I would juxtapose it with classical music. So when I was doing these miniatures, I didn't really have anything in mind in terms of a goal or an intention for why I was doing this. I simply just wanted to find connections between everyday items and music and visuals. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I think it shows in the sort of silly and lighthearted nature of the clips. So afterwards, the more I started doing videos and toying with different ideas related to visuals and music, I started to use it as a tool to help teach, help me understand things, and help me organize space and sound for myself. And that's why a lot of the videos look the way they do. And that's why I add a lot of the visuals and the effects in the way that I do. And by the way, I make most of them, but a lot of them are either pre-existing GIFs or I guess plugins for video editing software that takes sound and they'll create different lines. But a lot of the ones, I think you can tell when they're manual. I use slides that I make in Photoshop, and I'll treat it like a stop motion project where I would make dozens and dozens and dozens of slides, and I'll put them all together in Final Cut. So where does this all stem from? Of course, I'm a visual learner, but also a lot of the ways that I interact with my surroundings and process different things is through drawing or photography. So ever since I was younger, I had a very strong connection to the visual arts. First of all, my dad is a watercolor painter and a calligraphy artist. My mom is also a visual artist, and I grew up in a household where there were always paintings and drawings around. Depending on where I'm living and what I am studying and what I'm trying to learn, I've noticed that the type of visual art that I'm into drastically changes. For example, when I was living in Paris, I mainly did drawings with pencil and charcoal, and I just walked around and I tried to draw different things that I liked in the city, things that stood out to me. And I also carried around a notebook, and I would copy different fonts all throughout the city that I really liked. Some of the years I was living in New York City, all I wanted to do was street photography. I would take this camera that I named Herman, and I would walk up and down different streets in the city, and I would just take pictures of strangers. And I found this really surreal and really beautiful. While making videos on this channel, I've also experimented with different metaphors. For example, my etude for left hand, I used the visual of ink spreading in water because the way I composed the lines in the left hand and the fact that it's all with one hand kind of made me think of how an ink droplet spreads in water. It starts from a very condensed form of ink, and it spreads and dilutes itself, but what it is still the same. It's just diluted. And for me, it made sense to relate it to that figure in the left hand, and also how I thought of it harmonically. Really, that piece is based on one chord. Another thing that I did was this piece called Salad Music, where I relate the musical ideas that I use to improvise over and build on top of to salad. And that's because I think of the way that the salad is mixed and tossed, and the way that I improvise sometimes with predetermined ingredients. And these different connections really help me form these ideas and also execute them as well. So anyway, I hope that gives you a little more insight into why I make those visuals and why I put them in the videos. And I would love to hear your thoughts about different connections you have with visuals and music, or different mediums and music. It's super interesting to me, and I love to explore further, for sure. And it's an ongoing process, but I just appreciate finding the connections between things, because everything is related, and that's what I find fascinating and beautiful. And I am very grateful that I found the visual medium of videos, where I could really explore a lot related to this in a way that I can handle, and a way that I could kind of form and make. I hope that made sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.